turn the I leant on the vacuum cleaner switch. Oh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Aaron here from Easy As Car Cleaning, and I'm out on the front deck. It's quite beautiful out here today. And today I've got in the driveway something a little different and possibly quite a challenge. Let's see. This Pajero has been left by a customer of mine because there's quite a smell. Wow, there's air fresheners everywhere. It's actually looking pretty good, but I believe the issue is when you turn on the God, I've never seen so many air fresheners in a car. Woo! Turn on the heat and it stinks, so let's see what happens. Come on, come on. Give me the fan. Where are you, Mo? Because this had a mouse infestation and a rat nest, and they've gone up inside the dashboard. So we're gonna see, well, I'm gonna see if I can actually do something about the smell. Let's move it down onto the grass and crack in. First, I'm gonna give the whole interior a full detail, and then we'll tackle the ventilation system and the smell that comes from within. No guarantees with this one, I'm afraid. So starting on the interior of this car, and decided to start from the back and work my way forward. The mice have decided to turn this place into a mansion. I'll show you. Check out this unfortunate mess. Right, so cleaning the mouse-infested Pajero. The trouble with mice is they actually can get into everywhere that we can't reach. For instance, all this plastic stuff on the side here, and I can show you how. Look at this. see what's behind door number 2. Oh. I half expected to see a dead mouse in there too. I'd like to say I'm halfway through because I'm halfway up the car, but we'll see. This one here, where the seatbelt connector is, which was really grotty. I actually think this was pre-mouse, and quite likely why they've come lurking into the back in the first place. So they've found something there that's tasty, edible, some nourishment perhaps, and I'm going to get rid of it so we don't get mice coming back again. Oh yeah. I honestly wasn't actually planning to take these seats out. I had thought that the main issue with the mice was dashboard and forward, but since finding them all the way into basically the very back of the car, I'm going to take these car seats out and make sure that I've got absolutely every little bit of this mouse poo gone. It's mice, you know. They.
How much money are you gonna get for that? Taking the seats out.
Well, yeah, because it's probably going to be quicker to take the seats out than try to get the stuff underneath the seats and leave them in, you know?
Still, like how much you can...
Well, costs what it costs. And I'm glad I did, because I've already seen mouse poo. Passenger seats out now, and this is the last corner of the full interior detail before I look at why the dashboard has, well, I know why. Behind the dashboard's full of mouse poo, and it stinks every time they turn the heater on. So I'm going to clean up this last section of the carpet, give that seat a shampoo, and I think by then it's probably ginger beer o'clock. Honestly, it's not that bad in here. I've cleaned cars that are in a much worse condition than this on the inside without taking the seats out. But the reason I want to take the seat out is more or less so that I can check that the mice haven't actually been up underneath inside the foam section like they had been in the back of the car. So we can check in under there, and it actually looks pretty good. So I'll clean this last section. Dashboard tomorrow. Okay, now we're recording. Take two. I've just been talking to the bloody GoPro with it off for the last minute and a half. Now, why would this be in the picture this morning when I'm talking about cleaning a rather lovely four-wheel drive that's unfortunately had a mouse infestation? Well, I thought I would actually show you how they get into the things in the first place. And this is a great example because it's all cut up into pieces and I can point out exactly what happens. Starting at the engine bay, mice, rats seek out the warmth of the engine bay, especially through the winter months, and they can then access other parts of the car from here. And as you can see, there's little holes and areas all throughout. Now they're often covered up by rubber grommets or little plastic caps of some sort. Not much of a challenge for a hungry little rodent. And if they do get through, you can see this is just basically metal tubes, and there's holes that run right the way through them. I've actually chopped this piece off altogether. I'm using this car to play about with some welding and vehicle restoration techniques. And you can see, again, these are all just essentially big plastic tubes that allow access through to any part of the vehicle without too much interference from the outside world. You can see the plastic trim there. That's essentially like the interior plastics of your vehicle with great big holes underneath that run straight through to every other part of the car. When you're dealing with a car that may have had a rodent infestation of some sort, you've really got to get all the way through the inside of it and go hunting for all the little spots they can find. Unfortunately, you're not going to get every single little bit. That's why it's such a challenge to clean up a vehicle that's had mice and rats and stuff in it, and the smells that they bring along with them too. I'm in the shed now because I've got random bits of race car all over the place in here, including this. This is actually the inside of my XL race car dashboard. And as you can see, this is the piping for your heater. So these are the vents that come out in the center and on the two sides of the dashboard, and basically giant big tubes. That's that one. These are the vents that run along the windscreen for the heater and demister. Again, lots of space for little critters to go running around in. Now, unfortunately, all of that junctions at a box that looks a little bit like this. This is where the heater and air conditioning run to and provide the fan access to push the air through those tubes. There's levers and switches on here that change if it goes to the demister or if it comes out at your feet, or blows through the main vents in the dash. this rather large box here is why I'm concerned that I'm not actually going to get all the smell out of this four-wheel drive, and potentially, and worst case scenario, the dashboard's going to have to come out so that parts of the car like this and like this can be removed and cleaned. Okay, I'm pretty well set up here. Gloves, glasses, and dusk mask, and air. One of the favourite tools of the car detailer, compressed air. And I'm going to use this down the air vent. I've blocked off all the other ones, and we'll put a little bit of a cleaning product down there and some air back in the opposite direction, hopefully to remove bad things. Remove all the bad things. That's the idea. We could find some interesting things in there too, potentially. Small rocks, shells from the collection at the beach. Magic crystals, who knows? At this end, this is where the cabin filter sits and where all the vent work pairs down to the fan. Now, I'm not exactly sure what the inside of this dashboard looks like, but I've covered up the fan and I've put a little plastic tray. I already found some goodness. A little plastic tray and a cloth in here. The idea to catch anything. We don't want it to go inside the fan because that'll just exacerbate the problem in the future. And I'll be using BioBrisk from my good mates at AutoSmart. Again, a bioactive cleaner and deodorizer. Safe removal of biological soiling and odors. Effective on milk, blood, urine and vomit. Which is why I have this. Because every now and again you'll get a car that you need to detail that has milk, blood, urine or vomit in it. It doesn't say for mice poo, but we're hoping that we can add that to the list. I've also got my vacuum cleaner and some other bits and bobs. This is an experiment for me. I'm not a professional rodent nest remover for inside vehicles. This is possibly the last time I'll agree to do something quite like this as well. But I thought I'd make the video so that if this happens to your own car, you can see what I've done and potentially have a crack at trying to remove some of this nastiness yourself. If you're a professional detailer and you're watching this, I highly recommend that you let your customer know beforehand that there are no guarantees that this will work, and potentially the dashboard will need to come out to have all that tubing and the switch system for the various air vent systems, feet, demister, and the main vents here. That may have to come out. So if you are a professional detailer and you're watching this video because a customer has had mice in their car and they've asked you to detail it for them, definitely let them know straight away, first up, before you take the job on, that there can be no guarantees that you'll be able to get everything out, which is exactly what I've done for this customer here. And they're fully aware that worst case scenario, this dashboard may have to come out. But we're going to try and do what we can for them. It's a little bit of a learning experience for myself as well. Like I said, I haven't done this before, but I do know what the inside of a dashboard looks like. And with that information and with 7 years of detailing cars experience, I'm going to see what I can do to help resolve this issue for them more affordably, because taking the dashboard out is going to be expensive. So more affordably, and hopefully it avoids that big job, because that's going to be a big job. I leant on the vacuum cleaner switch. Oh, scared the bejeebus out of me. Oh, hang on. Here's the thingo. Okay. So I've selected the mode, which is the main vents. I'm going to attempt those first. So on the fan selector switch here, isolate that. Because there's 3 different systems. There's the system that blows air to your feet. There's the system that blows air to the demister. And there's also the main vents that come out the front of the dash. Take that off. Take that off. I'm going to cover the other vents. Oh, doozy, check that out. Before I go and spray the BioBrisk, I want to see if I can get rid of as much of the loose dry material that's in the vent system beforehand. So I'll do all of the vents dry, then I'm going to add the BioBrisk after that. So I did actually catch a little bit of stuff that was essentially where the cabin filter sits, which catches the air before it goes into the fan. But then from the fan through to the vent work is essentially a closed system. So I'm not going to be able to actually remove what gets moved about in there. I'm going to hit it with the BioBrisk and we're going to pray that that does the job. But I think it's going to be a dashboard out scenario, unfortunately. So I think I found the reason why the rats are in the car in the first place and why they've decided to nest here. That looks like some kind of animal food, dog biscuit or cat biscuits. And they've collected it and brought it in. There's a few of them. There's a few of them on top of this fan mechanism here. If you've got animal food in your garage or your shed, make sure you keep it well sealed so the rats can't drag it into your car and have a feast in their new mansion. Mitsubishi mansion in this case. Okay, take this off. Shush, Peggy. Birds everywhere. You can hear this. I've got the fan going. What I'm actually doing now is using the fan itself and some of the BioBrisk. This is probably not recommended as per the manufacturer's instructions, but a couple of little sprays of the BioBrisk in the fan at this end. I've already done the... Oh guys, I'm trying to make a video. So I've done the BioBrisk into the fan and sprayed it through with the air compressor. Sorry, taking you on a trip. So I've sprayed some of the BioBrisk. Oh man, there's just stuff going on everywhere. Spray the BioBrisk into here and use the air compressor to push it down the vent this way. And now I've got the car running with the fan running, looking to actually suck the BioBrisk into the other end of the system as well. The idea with this is it'll break down the biological nature within the actual smell itself, and the hope is that it will then cure the issue of the smell inside the dashboard. That's what we're going for, get rid of the smell. It could be better. It could actually work. I've got my fingers crossed though. I'm using the car's fan and circulating that through, spraying a little bit more in every 5 or 10 minutes. So as I detail the dashboard and the console area, I'll continue to do that for the next hour or so, hopefully to flush that odor out, break down using the enzyme that's in that cleaner, break down the issue that creates the smell in the first place. If I can achieve that and get rid of the smell, I think my customer will be happy. The result. Did I get rid of the smell? This is normally where you would see the before and after photos on a car detailing video, but you can't do before and after photos of a smell. Before that though, I just want to take this opportunity to say thanks for watching, if you have been. I hope that this video was helpful. I really hope you haven't had to deal with a mouse infestation in your car, but if you have, I do hope that this has given you some ideas, and maybe you've been able to confidently approach getting rid of the problem yourself. If you're a car detailer, good luck. Hit the thumbs up button if it's been helpful. Consider subscribing. It's probably the biggest thrill that I get out of watching my little videos be enjoyed by other people, is seeing the subscriber numbers slowly rise. I've got 98 now. Woo! Share it with your friends. Copy the link and give it to them if that's helpful too. There's lots of things coming up. Clearly I need to clean out the shed. I've got bits of roll cage and harness there. I've got more than enough seats for my race car over here that need to be refitted. I'm still not yet painting the inside because it's raining again, and seems it rains every weekend at the moment. And with any luck, I can actually get it prepped and ready for the last 2 rounds of the speed event series, which is in November 26th and 27th. But yes, without further ado, the verdict. Did I get rid of the mouse smell? It's hard to know exactly when you're dealing with smells because there's chemicals everywhere and they all have a smell of their own. I actually got back in touch with the owner and asked them what they thought of the car, and here's their reply. Hold on. Unlock. I've lost the message. Nope, there it is. So I asked the owner about a week or so later what they thought. Basically he said, just wanted to ask how the car is. I'm very curious to know if the smell is still as bad, if it's better, or even gone altogether, which I really had doubts about. And have they had to consider any further cleaning treatment? So I got a message back. The smell is definitely a lot better, but not completely gone. They put the new cabin filter in it, and they haven't actually had to consider using any other options as yet. So the dashboard hasn't come out of that car. They've gone on to say that the smell was pretty bad, So I did an excellent job in getting rid of most of it. They're very happy with the clean. So they're very happy with the clean. And the smell, most of it is gone. And it was pretty bad. So I'm going to chalk that up as a win. Anyway, like I said, thanks for watching. Stay tuned for some other crazy stuff happening with the Hyundai XL. Some other motorsport things happening very soon. And might even pull this out of the shed. What do you reckon? And now Dad's number. Ah, crap. Breaking stuff.